What is up, you guys? Ooh, God. Alchemist Ganjier here, overexposed as a mofo. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, man, having brown skin, like, it just doesn't always work with the camera. Yeah, just 1 second. I'm gonna, fix the very, very obvious, like, low light compensation. There we go. There we go. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. Let's see. Let's make sure it's fully on. Boom. All right. Yes. Hey, what is up, you guys? Alchemist Ganjier here. Got another awesome episode of the Cult. Welcome. Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I see some people popping in the chats. On Facebook, on the Tube, on IG. What is up, y'all? Yo, awesome episode. I'm really stoked. A lot of cool stuff has happened like the last few days. Went to some new places. Like it just like yeah, it's just been a really busy week. Like the storm like has kept like I'm sure everybody in the cannabis space that's growing outdoors very 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 busy. But it's also just been eventful in general because we're getting into like harvest season, and with that comes all kinds of like events and like meets. And even though we are getting towards like the ends of certain things, it also says new beginnings. Like I met a lot of really cool people over the weekend. It was super awesome. So like shout out to the Rockbridge Growers Club. Had an amazing time. They welcomed me with open arms. It was really awesome meet. Like the people there were all really solid. They all like knew each other. It was like it was like going to an alternate universe version of like some of the meets that I go to around here, where just everyone is just like, yeah. It was really dope. And I'd like I recorded some stuff from it. We'll be posting it in the next couple weeks as I like start to like put together a nice good like content stream. I've got, like I said, so much content on like the backlog. But yes, yeah, like I said, we're gonna be the title says we're gonna be doing some. Oh shit! Actually, I just remembered. God, what is going on with me? We are only streaming to one place at this moment, and I need to very very quickly pop all of those to the other spots. This will only take just one brief second. I appreciate you guys so much for your patience. Yes, there it is. Yeah, it is. What am I doing today? I guess I'm just like so excited. There's so much stuff going on that I'm just not really thinking like about like stuff. There's like a lot of other things I'm trying to keep track in my head, and this was like I said, a wonderfully busy weekend. But yes, let's see. All right, we are now fully. We are on Twitter and on IG, and we are also now in Roanoke Cannabis. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, very awesome. The cultivar that we're going to be checking out today is Nut Butter by Bobby Burris, the Virginia Ganjier. That is what, like you saw in the in that little like intro shot. Like although before we fully get into that, let me make sure got stuff pulled up correctly. Okay. I got to hang out last week. I think it was Thursday with a Mary Perry. In fact, she is here in the chat right now. What's up, Mary? Very very cool person. Some of you guys know her like either personally or through like her creative business. But if you don't, she makes really 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 awesome cannabis accessories and like rolling trays and ashtrays and all types of like dishes and storage, and it's like it's really really dope. And she made me a tray based off of the podcast. So I, of course, like very, very grateful. I wasn't sure what to expect. But then, like I said, I got it this past week, and let's take a little look at it real quick, okay? Now, of course, oh, look at this ooze plate. This has served me well with all the confusing masks and faces. I mean, I don't dislike the tray by any means. Like, I mean, it's definitely serves purpose. But I mean, can it really compete though with this? Oh yeah, look at that, guys. I am beside myself with how dope this tray is. Here, and this is Mary's 420 Crafts. And it has definitely earned a spot on my canteen. So when you see me out and about, definitely like keep your eye out for that. But this tray here, look at this, guys. Right? I just like my background. Here, like a little quick, just like back and forth. All right, bop. See, there's that, and that. Now there's that. Right? So cool, so cool. She said that the inspiration came from obviously like the background, and she spent like a lot of time on this, and I just like, oh my gosh, I spent a hot minute just getting like all of like the framework on this, just to like so you guys could see it like the way that I see it, because like it's super duper dope. So yeah, Mary's 420 Crafts. Definitely a shout out to that. A shout out to her, like, and her team. Um, and I like yeah, and I haven't told her. Here, let's pop back real quick. Like I said, I haven't told her. But because of how awesome like the gift is. And it is like in support of the channel. Due to right. I have named her my first official sponsor for the channel. And I will plug her and some of her stuff over the course of like the next month or so as kind of like my thank you for like this really really awesome gift. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Right? Like, I mean, this is dope. This is super dope. But right. Okay. So I'm like enough gushing right now. Let's crack into this nut butter a little bit. And so we can get to our stories. All right. Now let's see this baby. Now I had it already on display just because like I was like curious to see how it would like look like starting the stream with it. But it has a really really nice deep like leather, almost like chocolatey kind of like aroma to it. And very 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 nice. And like the bract structure on here is just very appropriate. It's just like it's a really nice looking bud. You see that squeeze test on there. Now, granted, this has been curing now for about 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. In fact, actually, I might need to double check with Bobby when I got this. But here, let's take a closer look. Okay, look at that. Look at those pistils. Right here. In fact, we can take a closer look. Oh, wait. Huh. I'm amazed myself how I refined it. Look at that. Yeah, I know it's a little shaky. Let's see if I can brace it a little bit better. Okay, this isn't going as well as it normally does for some reason. I'm usually much better at this. Guess maybe I'm like slightly off my game today. Yeah, but that is lovely. Just like really, really lovely. The vibes I'm getting off of it, which we'll be able to confirm as we like break this down a bit, and see like right there, like the nodes are separating like nicely. Yeah, this is definitely dried and cured well. Wow. Like, I'm getting almost like I wouldn't necessarily call it a peanut butter cookie, but like sometimes you got those really low sugar, like peanut butter dark chocolate bars, that's like our organic natural peanut butter, and it's got like it's not like Jif, it's not like Skippy. It's got a much like earthier kind of tone to it, and just breaking these nodes up here, Um, yeah, very, very, very leathery vibe on it. Oh my gosh, like very, very, very leathery. So here, let's go ahead and break this down. Yeah. Okay. Man, it's wild how much the National Cannabis Festival gets so much like free advertising from me because they're not a sponsor. Yeah, let's pull this down just a little bit more, like because they're not a sponsor of this. Even though like I do like them a lot, a lot. But like this is more just I guess free riz on their part. Okay, all right. Let me see. I noticed here that there's a nice little degree of keef. Let's get a smell on that. It looks like it's okay. Look at that. Okay, so it's got a really good stick to it. The texture is very, very nice. Texture is very nice. There's a bit of like a chemo roll with it, but it really is just very, very leathery. Like it's like I mean, it straight up smells like a new pair of like leather shoes or something like that. It's yeah. So yeah, that leather and like kind of I don't know varnish or maybe like shoe shine ish. Okay, so we'll do a nice and modest bowl to start out because of how relaxing this is going to be. Yeah, like because of how relaxing this is gonna be, I am starting to like yeah. Let's to realize that these should be they should be like smaller bowls. So we're just getting a flavor. We're just getting a flavor here. Okay. Yeah, let's set up our double bong. Yeah, let's go, you guys. Ah, yeah, that's right. I almost forgot. Oh, you and oop. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right. Yes, and also, a little dragon head, shot out the Joy Reaper seed. It's a nice little gift he gave me a while back. Have not, haven't talked to him too recently, although man, he stays ripping and running. What is everyone else token on this evening? Yes, yeah, I agree, Alex. It is really beautiful. Yeah, what's everyone token on this evening, huh? Yeah. You guys on a relaxing kick with me? Are you like getting yourselves riled up? Um, yeah. Either way, cheers, y'all. Wow. Wow, that is so resinous. Oh my god, that is so resinous. Um, oh my gosh. Oh, oh, whoa. Shit, Bobby. Um, wow. First off, there's a bit of a head rush, but also deep, flavorful, like leather and like kind of like biscuit, like yeasty. I'm definitely getting like the initial aspects of like why we call it peanut butter breath. That like there's a strong like resinous like mouthfeel with it that is lingering on the palate, and it's almost like when you like okay, if you've ever made like canna crackers, right? Where you like just take like regular peanut butter, which is fun story. canna crackers, firecrackers, or however you want to call them, is actually the reason I got into natural peanut butter. But like, natural peanut butter with some like decarbed, or some people even argue you don't have to, but I mean decarbed weed, and then to get like, sandwich it, like make sure it's all nice and coated, and then you like bake it in the oven. Like there's a whole thing to it. I haven't made it in a while, so I don't remember the exact process. But like afterwards, because it's natural peanut butter, and because like you want to make sure it's really like well baked, there's always a little bits of that peanut butter that's kind of like crumbly and like not quite burnt, but like almost like chalky in substance. It's that kind of flavor that that peanut butter has. That like that slightly like overbaked like peanut butter like flavor. Um, but yeah, no, I do love firecrackers. Like, in fact, I'd still say I do like them a lot. I have so many ways to infuse things now that like I just haven't gotten to it. Honestly, I should probably just do a video on like firecrackers or something. Um, but yeah, um, wow. It was a bit of a head rush, but like it kind of balanced out kind of quickly. And it's a nice like even high. I'm getting like good head and body action like from it, but it's not like too foggy. Now this is grown living soil, organic, obviously like regenerative practices. He's posted a lot of his like his grows on his IG, like Virginia Ganjier. You can look it up. Like his last one that I've watched closely was like when he did his orange turbo run, which was like awesome. But like yeah, he has really good practices, and is like very very open like with like everything that like he does and whatnot. So it's very very cool. Ah, right. Okay, so we gotta finish this bowl. Actually, that's why that hit me just enough. Wow, this is actually like a sneaky. This is a sneaky one. This hit me in just the way that actually made me forget that this bowl like actually like isn't quite fully finished yet. I had just taken a step back because I had to deal with the resin content. This thing slaps, bro. Okay, okay, we're gonna finish this and then we're gonna move on. All right. Um, yeah. Cheers. Yeah. Very resinous, and oh my gosh, that's nice. Oh shoot. Yeah, my toothpick's not in here. And that was definitely dumb. I thought I saw like a little bit there, but it was like ghost remnants. You guys ever see that when you're hitting your bowl if you have like a clear bowl that you're using and you like this you look through the here we'll switch this back. So like you like clear bowl, you can look through the side and be like, oh, okay, like I know how much is in there, whatever, whatever. Um, but then you'll like go look at it and be like, oh, I got some green still there, and you go and hit it, and it's like it was literally just a facade, you know, um, and like end up getting just an ash hit, and it's just like, yeah, that was good to the last drop. Yeah, oh my gosh, like I, um, it's kind of funny. Um, you can tell really, really, really quickly with weed two things. When it's really bad and when it's really good. Um, it's all the mediocre. It's all the middle that like it takes time to figure out, and you really gotta like think about it, and you're trying to weigh out like what it is that you're feeling getting. Like, is it if it's harsh? Why is it harsh? And going through the reasons because some reasons are more acceptable than others. Um, but and granted, I'm sure like everybody like and like the low end is easy to tell because everyone has probably seen the bottom of it, but the high end is where people kind of get lost in the weeds because um I like it's kind of funny. It's like every time I tried better weed before I became a ganji, every time I tried better weed, I was always convinced that that was like, oh shit, that was the best. That was like the good stuff. That's that gas. And then of course only to be like reminded like the next time like somebody had some cool good stuff or whatever. They're like, oh wow, this is good. This is better. And it wasn't until like I certified as a Ganjier and I was doing my training in Humboldt with like incredibly high end cannabis, like the level of cannabis that I had not seen up to that point. And I rarely have seen since like I completed my training in 2021. And of course I've been constantly growing since then, and there have only been so many times that I've like come across cannabis that I can count on like maybe like a couple of hands, but would still have some extra fingers. Like the times where it's like wow, this is like elite quality, and it's so very obvious. Very quickly we're just like wow, that's really good. And granted, there is a gradient amongst that because like if everything's amazing, then how do you tell the one amazing from the other amazing and which is more amazing or whatever? Um, but and this is one of those instances though, like within like the relative scope of what we're dealing with here in Virginia, like you can tell very quickly when something is just good. And yeah, that umbutter, like that is some really amazing smoke. Like considering its resin content, I would say very smooth. And for the fact that while I was packing up and thinking about and talking, like it was like percolating in my head like how long I've had this. And actually I need to start. I mean, not start because I did it once upon a time, but then I stopped because it was happening. I was just getting so many samples. It's kind of dumb now that I think about it. But I was like dating, like samples I was getting from folks, mostly because I was assuming that I would be, assessing them in short order. But such is life. But like the more I think on this, this is actually probably closer to a year cure, um, and on that, like, no, pretty amazing. But yes, now that we've like gotten to that stuff, guys, some of these the stories from like the past week. Wait, actually, did I finish talking on Rockbridge? I mean, outside of if you get an invitation to go to the Rockbridge Growers Club, like I would highly encourage going. Their last public meeting was this month for the year. Unfortunately, next month they're doing a growers cup that's invite only. So if you get an invitation to that, or someone that's going who's inviting you, I would not turn that down. From everything I'm hearing, it's a pretty good time. It would be my first time going, but yeah, I'm looking forward to check it out. Towards the end of October, the 25th and 6th, I believe. Um, but right, so that's going on like this month. Very very awesome stuff, right? Amazing, like very kind, like welcoming people. Like that also have some pretty good smoke. And I had an opportunity to share some of like our own from like further down 81 with them, which like they were like also similarly impressed. Yes, we're doing great things here all throughout Southwest Virginia, and the more we connect together and like make these trips and like meet other people, gosh, it's just like it really gets your blood flowing for like how many people out there they're just as passionate as you and I are for cannabis and this phenomenal plant. And of course, like with every win that we get in the public space, with all the new studies coming out and public support from people, and like I mean, as much as we dislike politicians, when they start being very vocal about support for cannabis, that does at least reassure me that they're going to try and do something. And to that end, something very, very interesting happened today. For the first time, as far as I'm aware, in Democratic history, we have right a presidential candidate that is openly calling for not cannabis rescheduling, but for cannabis legalization. Right? To try not to involve too much politics, right, in this podcast. And if I do, if I go overboard with it, my bad. Like, call me out. But if it's cannabis related, I try to bring it to the forefront. And just this morning, right, on the what is it called, the All the Smoke podcast, with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, she announced overt, explicitly support for cannabis legalization. She was quoted as saying, "I just feel strongly people should not be going to jail for smoking weed." And we historically know what that has meant and who has gone to jail. Second, I just think that we have come to a point where we have to understand that we need to legalize it and stop criminalizing this behavior. That is a direct quote. Go All the Smoke podcast. Don't do it right this second, but go and check it out. It dropped earlier this morning. And that's huge because I don't think anyone has ever said that. Like, this running for president that has had these types of chances of winning. Like, yes, there's been like the Green Party, who I voted for back in 16 because he was like overtly for cannabis legalization. But like this is like astounding. Now, to said, I one of the things is I with my podcast is I want to maintain bipartisanship. So like with that being said, we have also had some announcements from the other side of the aisle, where uh, Trump's recently posted on Truth Social. I was literally just looking at this. Yes, here it is. Actually, I am looking right at it. He says, as president, we will continue to focus on research to unlock the medical uses of marijuana to a Schedule 3 drug and work with Congress to pass common sense laws, including safe banking for state authorized companies and supporting states' rights to pass marijuana laws, like in Florida, that works so well for their citizens. That was to his social app earlier this month. So right, so we see that we're looking at something happening with cannabis, in the coming in the coming months, following the election. My big concern though comes down to right now what we're looking at with rescheduling versus decriminalizing and legalizing. I, at first, was a proponent for the rescheduling, and it was literally only for the fact that it was a compromise of sorts. Even though I still didn't think it made any sense whatsoever for it to be on Schedule 3. I am and I've always been a proponent for legalization. Just legalize it. Decriminalize the possession of it, and from there we can move forward. Cannabis is not so easy to grow that you're just going to have weed growing in everyone's yards and kids are going to be getting high and stuff. It's weed, it needs to be there are 3 stages to growing that make it so that kids and other people who shouldn't be getting their hands on it aren't going to be able to, and that is because there is veg, there is flower, and then there is harvest cure. Harvest dry cure, but I used to just call it harvest cure. And you just take weed and off a plant and try to smoke it, it ain't gonna do shit. You gotta make a special device called a steam chalice in order for it to work properly. Um, and when you see how steam chalice is made, you realize pretty quickly that ain't no one taking it, because also when you use a steam chalice, you need to put a lot of weed in it. A lot, and it's an amazing experience. If you ever have a chance to try a steam chalice, I would recommend it, but it just uses a lot of weed. And it's also difficult to make if you don't have if you don't live in the right environment, have access to the right things. It's too complicated. But where was I going with this? Yeah, this nut butter is serious. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. In fact, let's see. I think we have enough here. We'll do another bowl of it, but I don't think we will need to use any more of that. No, right now. Um, so I think this is really really great news. Like that we are hearing this type of support like on both sides. And also kind of a historic moment that we have like explicit like support for cannabis legalization. Rather than like any type of like other like compromise. What does that translate to? Like it's really right now. It's a lot of it's like it's this is all like all these things that is being said on both sides. Like politically, it's talk and like I mean until things actually are followed through on. But you know, there's hope. There is hope. Now, there now with this going on, like we still have a lot of other stuff going on, like in the country and across the world. Like I mean, if you haven't heard, Ukraine just made some major revisions and has introduced legislation for cannabis legalization and widened it like notably for medical conditions. I mean, they're at war right now, and they're like, you know what, we see the benefit for cannabis, like, cause like of how it helps deal with like trauma, PTSD, like, um, but like, you know, we gotta get our stuff together because we're like technically not at war, and yet like we're dragging our feet on this. Like we gotta really gotta pull together, unite. There's like so much destruction that's been caused by this hurricane. Like y'all see what happened to Asheville? Like holy crap! Like we really gotta like pull together and see how we can help like each other, like and like start like um understanding our opinions, um so that we're more competent to like debate like these different philosophies, or at least prepared to accept that, you know, like another person has their own philosophy but you understand yours enough that you don't need to like convince them, like, or like, you know, like argue it, you know. Like there was someone that was talking about a while back that like, you know, we're getting away from this point of time of people like agreeing to disagree, and like people like having opposing opinions and like hearing them and respecting me. I think it comes down to the fact that like we are an increasing generation of people who are losing actual like foundations for much of our opinions and beliefs, and that is that like we hear so much stuff like through various algorithms and echo chambers without actually like like researching and studying and reading more and like following stuff that's like widely reputable, as opposed to like a lot of these like Reddit holes that are mostly just like people speculating. Like I can't tell you like the level of stupid I see in arguments in Reddit. You know, so it's like, but it is not less necessarily though that it's like people being lazy, like or dumb. Like oftentimes I even wonder if it comes down to the very fact that we are just so overwhelmed. We're so busy, constantly, that we don't really have time. And when we do sit down to use our phone to do that stuff, like we end up getting sucked into like scrolling, like reels and stuff. Like, why does every app have reels now? Like, oh, God, I feel like I'm like an old man complaining, but like, I mean, I don't understand why there has to be like. I mean, I know. I get why they're doing it, like, cause like it's popular and people like it, so they want to keep it. Like, the scrolling is literally a digital drug. Um, but um, like we get caught up in that stuff. You know, we don't have time to like read like a 15-minute article because we spent like, you know, 12 minutes scrolling. But yeah, I digress. To the real like big thing that I want to get into today is a study that I stumbled across like a few days ago, but I have since like come across an article that is using it to paint a sinister narrative for cannabis. Now, if any of you guys have seen the article, maternal cannabis use linked to genetic changes in babies. Um, this article is discussing, like, a study that was recently done, looking at um looking at prenatal cannabis exposure, in association with alterations to offspring DNA, like specifically like DNA methylation, um, in genes that are involved in neurodevelopment, um, but over the course of like a person's life. Now the study, now the okay well the study itself is fairly neutral, but like the article, which like begs me to now do a critical analysis of the actual study. The very first line of this article, people, the very first GD line says, novel research suggests cannabis use during pregnancy is directly linked to negative impacts on babies' brain development. That is a lie. That is a whole faced lie. And what I mean by lie is that nowhere in this study does it actually say that. Nowhere. That is literally a lie being propagated by medicalexpress.com, um, and it demands like a confrontation. So, to that extent, I decided to write up a brief overview of the study, and then also like a points of why this study like is not suggesting a negative impact. In fact, like if anything, because we know cannabis has been a part of like the human experience for literally our entire like existence as Homo sapiens, um, and potentially even prior to that, and amongst ancient humans like the Denisovans. Um, I find it very, very, very hard to believe that like there's like a negative impact, considering that like we like have had heavy exposure to cannabis, and we have really branched out. But like, no, sorry, I'm digressing a bit because this article got me upset. But so for this study, okay, so like I said, this study is like titled like a prenatal cannabis exposure is associated with alterations in offspring DNA methylation, and genes involved in neurodevelopment across the life course. And the objective of this study was to investigate whether prenatal cannabis exposure, PCE, affects DNA methylation patterns in offspring across different developmental stages, potentially like linking the prenatal exposure to neurodevelopmental outcomes. Okay. Um, so they like the way they conducted this whole study, right? They took samples. This is a UK based study, mind you. I believe it was like University of Cambridge. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Um, and so they did this they took data samples from this longitudinal study of like parents and children. It's like there's this it's called the ALSPAC. Um, and they also took information from New Zealand over the course like of like 25 years, and this is like a part of the Christchurch Health and Development Study. Now, like the way that they went about this is like mothers who used cannabis during pregnancy and their offspring compared to like non-exposed like controls, and then they were looking at DNA methylation profiles like from blood samples and stuff like that. And so they went and like they analyzed all that stuff, and their findings was that there was, and now this is what the study found, okay, and it's like separate of what the article was claiming. but that what they found is that there was DNA methylation changes across ages. Significant DNA methylation differences were observed in offspring exposed to cannabis prenatally at all ages that they studied, and specific genes are all with altered methylation include like a bunch of genes you never heard of, but many of them are related to different aspects of neural development and like building out that architecture like in the brain. Um, like LZTS2, MPSR1, like I said. But that they also found that some methylation changes persisted across multiple developmental ages. So there's a suggestion through that there is long-term epigenetic alterations due to the prenatal exposure. Sorry, so we know that they're what they're finding is that like there were some like changes. Now, does that change move positive or negative? No, it doesn't. Um, Now the differentially methylated genes, like I said, are involved with neurodevelopment, neurotransmission, the structure, and the pathway analysis indicated that these changes could potentially influence neurodevelopmental processes. Now, influence, not negatively impact, just influence. Okay. Now, these genes affected, they have been associated. These genes that are affected, they've been associated with autism disorder, with schizophrenia, and also like other cognitive impairments. So the there is a reason for potential concern just through the sensitive nature of what parts cannabis is interacting with in these genes. Um, Another thing to keep in mind, though, is that in general, cannabinoids and the endocannabinoid system interacts with a lot of very vital parts of our system and modulates them and changes how they function. Um, that doesn't make it dangerous to us when we consume it, though. You know? Okay. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, but uh, but like it does though suggest that PCE might contribute to the risk of developing neurodevelopmental disorders. Now, the study does emphasize the importance of a larger, more detailed study to fully understand the implications of PCE on offspring development, and the reason for that is that these are really small sample sizes that they're getting. Even though it was a longitudinal study and it provided a basis for further research to like validate actually trying to get a larger pool size, because that's like how it works oftentimes. You do a small study, the big study. Right. Now, like I said, this study does provide the evidence for that. And now the findings also do support existing epidemiological data suggesting that there is a link between prenatal cannabis exposure and neurodevelopmental outcomes. Now, um, now, does this study explicitly find negative impacts? Like I said, not at all. Now, like I said, the primary focus was on changes to DNA methylation, not direct negative outcomes. Like those studies, the study identifies DNA methylation changes associated with PCA, but they don't directly report anything negative. The alterations are in genes related to neurodevelopment, which may have implications for brain function development. But with all the other things that cannabis could do, to make the claim that it's a negative impact, it would be just as responsible of a thing to say as saying that cannabis would have a positive impact on neurodevelopment because it's interacting with these things. Because it's interacting with these things, that means it's probably going to mean that you're not going to have these problems. That it's going to be better. I don't actually have any proof to back that up, because all we're seeing is a change. That's it. Um, we're not actually seeing any negative results from the changes. Um, Now, some of the genes with altered methylation have been associated with conditions like autism, schizophrenia, and cognitive delays. The study suggests that these epigenetic changes could potentially contribute to such disorders, but it doesn't establish a direct causal relationship. Um, And the research also doesn't provide direct clinical evidence of any negative impacts. The changes observed are molecular and require like further study. Um, um, now, um, another thing that it should be stressed is like the authors like which is also like sometimes common for researchers like when they like to like because they want their research to be pushed forward and whatnot, but like the authors in this study like this like they call that like for more extensive studies to be done to explore whether these methylation changes like lead to any type of adverse outcomes. um, and that like even stating that is like you know it's just as good as saying like we don't know. um, Now, they acknowledge that not all changes are necessarily negative, and that functional consequences are not yet understood. Um, so, like this is speculative. Like, that's what like those are like really all of that like whether it's negative or positive like for the prenatal impacts like it's all speculative. Um, that like it's like and context is really important because like they're interpreted with like a within the broader context of existing like epidemiological studies. And we have been finding that a lot of these studies like when they're getting like redone and trying to replicate them, that we start to find that a lot of these older studies are like frankly just not very accurate. um Correlation does not imply causation. And that is very, 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 very important to avoid confirmation bias. Like I said, like I read through this very earnestly because I was like curious as to like what they were claiming to be negative. Like it was much to my surprise that like they like the study itself is not trying to push it as some type of like explicitly negative thing. They do a very good job of maintaining neutrality. This article, however, does not. This article is incredibly biased against cannabis, and it is obvious by the very first sentence. Like the fact that they lied, they led the entire article off with a lie, hoping that you would be too dumb or not have enough time to read the article or look any deeper. Um, yeah, so like like Medical Express gets an F for maintaining like a neutral cannabis neutral like reporting because I don't want to sit here and try and say that cannabis is something that it's not. Um, that's what creates the whole problem in the first place. Um, like I'm all about trying to find out and figure out exactly what it fully is and all of the wonderful things it can do and whatever potential hazards there might be with it. I mean, like because literally not everything is completely perfect of a product. Like if cannabis somehow ends up being that this substance that like it causes literally like there's just nothing wrong that it does, like that would be truly wild. But like but so far though, like the more we dig earnestly, like the more we're finding that there's just like a ton of crap. Um, and this is just like another one that they're slinging out there, guys. So we gotta stay vigilant. Gotta stay vigilant. Like you see articles that are trying to like badmouth cannabis and whatnot, send them my way. Like, please tag me, whatever, and I will look further into them and I will pick it like apart or like see if there's any like truth to it. Because that's what we're about here, you know. Because like the truth is like where we can get real with it, you know. Like that's where we truly grow. Um, so yeah, this study, um, more research is necessary. Absolutely. I mean, I'm curious. I want to know because there's a part of me that is like kind of like hopeful, like that we're gonna find out that DNA methylation and actually like the change in DNA methylation is actually like beneficial to us. Like I'm like. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and hold out when I hear that it's negative. Be like, no, 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 they're lying. If there are studies and there's evidence and there's like that back it up, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I want to know. So like, absolutely, I'm all for it. I now bringing it back to this nut butter. Definitely packing another bowl of it. I can't believe that I got that lit off of like that size of a bowl. And I'm not saying that like because I'm like such a super heavyweight, but just like recently I've been having a bit of a like higher tolerance than normal. Um, and this kind of caught me. Um, so it just speaks to it more. But now we're gonna pack a nice little fatty. Um, so yeah, that's the rest of that right there. Look at that. Yeah, that is going to be that's going to be a stream ender right there. uh, um, yeah, hey, what up, living good? Yeah, um, yeah, yeah, Alex, you're right. Yeah, the truth is out there. Just gotta educate. Just gotta educate yourself. Gotta stay vigilant. Um, gotta stay vigilant. Because man, there's so much propaganda. Like, there's so much. Like, cause that article, like, oh man, I can't believe they said that. That's okay though. Because even with the article, like, I had like a really great weekend. Met some really cool people. Hung out with some awesome people. I was like helped out a lot of folks. Um, I see a lot of community. I see a lot of people that like we're gonna make something great. And I am excited to like see where it goes. Yeah. So yeah. Let's do this last bowl, man. I was so excited about this tray. Yeah, it's like it's kind of funny. Um, yeah. Um, sometimes where like you get something like a new like some new clothing or like new shoes or whatever when you're a kid, and you're so excited about it, like you wanted to like do so much stuff with it, but then there was like a part of you that was like realizing that like it like everything has like a limited application like use, like like I mean use like it for so many different things, but your excitement almost exceeds like the number of things you could do with it. I don't know, like that's kind of just like it's just like so many things to do, like want to like do with it, except like I mean it's just like a really dope rolling tray. Um, yeah, yeah, yes, very yeah, makes me smile. But yeah, God, man, this nut butter. Well, also this nut butter has me feeling very floaty. Like my body feels light. My head like feels kind of like floaty. Um, yeah, yeah. I like the way it rolls. I am looking forward to seeing where this hot air balloon takes me. All right, let's sweep it over to the side cam. Pew. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's see some 420s. 420s in the chat, y'all. Hey, what is up, Pokeballer Joe? Yeah. 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 Cheers, you guys. Whoo! Oh my gosh. there's something else there in that aroma. This like real perfumey. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's super baller. Yeah. Yeah, what is up, Pokeball Joe? Yeah, did I finish up? Yes, I did. Oh boy, whoo, man, that flavor in there. It's kind of like leathery and perfumey, like an older biker chick that takes care of herself and like has this like subtle perfume that she got after whipping this like fancy bitch's ass that like was bragging about her like French collection. I mean, no, she took it. No. It's like it's just like it's leathery and it's a very light floral. And then that like this like it's still got that burnt peanut butter ish, that burnt natural peanut butter, but there's something else there. God, it's gonna be bugging me for a while because it's some type of herb. Like maybe parsley. Oh yes, this is nut. It's nut butter. That has cured for in my vault for about a year. Grown organically in regenerative soil indoors by the Virginia Ganjier. Um, and it does involve some interesting notes. Yes. Well, it's where can you relate it to? A lot of times with smell, we allow like images to guide our smell. And for my palate training, I flip the script on that and use like the smell to guide mental imagery. Where's the smell taking me? Well, part of that could be that there's some elements to this that God, you know what? I need to pause for a moment and appreciate how smooth that hit was. Like, gee whiz. Oh my gosh. And I am definitely feeling like some waves on me now. Yeah. Yeah. Man. Oh, okay. So I made a post earlier this week, and I said that the Kamehameha wave was the most iconic attack, ever. And I'm pretty sure I said an anime, but honestly, I feel like low key it probably is no. I bet the Karate Kid crane kick, if you expanded it, would probably catch just a little more attention. Cause but yeah, in anime though, right? I mean, would you guys anyone say that there is a more iconic attack that's ubiquitous in knowledge? You go somewhere and you say it and people are gonna recognize it, right? Because I feel like there's so many people, they hear cut, they oh yeah, they already know what you're about to do. You're about to drop a Kamehameha wave on them, cut. Right? I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be Kalima, but especially you hear that those two together, you're like, yeah, okay, I know what you're about to do. but I've been thinking about it though. Like, is there more common? Because someone said that the Hadoken was more iconic, and I was like, like it could have been if they didn't like it didn't get this it did like it's something that happened a lot and it was definitely the flashiest, but like I feel like they did other attacks more like the Hado Shoryuken. Like I feel like that they did that hella like like I feel like there are other attacks that that were like equally as iconic. um Gum Gum Pistol. Oh, you mean like One Piece? Okay, well I'll say this: if I'm wrong, that might be a point for me. uh, I mean, right? Because right, we're talking. Oh, okay, it is. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but not. Okay, a lot. I would say a lot of people have heard of One Piece. Not a lot of people have watched One Piece. And I say this because I haven't even finished One Piece. I know. I'm sorry. I just like it was college. I just never got around to finishing. Or no, post college. Um, but still though, I mean, it's awesome. I want to. I really want to. But and especially I keep seeing on Netflix like a previews for the movie, the live action, and I'm not gonna lie, that looks kind of dope. But I don't know if I want to watch that before the original because Avatar. That's all I'm gonna say. That's because Avatar. Everyone who's an OG Avatar fan knows exactly what like. I really like the Netflix, but if you watch the original again, they low key did the same damn thing M Night Shyamalan did. They just did a little better They just did a little better job of it. That's it. And once I realized that, I was like, ooh, god damn, you tricked my ass because the thing is that M Night Shyamalan did it while Avatar was still really hot. And a lot of people were still talking about it, and if you hadn't been actively watching it, you would definitely it was hot. So people knew the story well enough to be like, that's terrible. But this one came out way later. And a lot of people's memories aren't as good as they think it is, and they did enough shot for shots, just intermixed with all of the shit they did, that you watched it, and unless you were actively watching Avatar or very recently watched it and or watched it since, and you watched that and you were like, oh wow, this is just like it. They did such a good job. This is exactly this is way better than that my Shyamalan one. They actually got it this time. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. It's inaccurate as hell. Oh, because I'm one of those people that will go back and rewatch it, and I did, and I loved it, and I was like, wow, they what a twist! They M Night Shyamalan me. Got him. Yo, I'm telling you, you don't believe me? Go back and watch any random episode. You don't even just pick an episode. You just and yeah, you'll probably end up just watching the series again because it's good. But man, yeah. So, but yeah, I digress. This nut butter is hitting. The live action got me into One Piece because it left me on a cliffhanger and pissed me off and wanting more. So I went to the anime. I didn't like the live action of Avatar for the old Avatar. Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, so okay. See, I watched Fallout. I watched the Fallout series, and it got me into the Fallout game. So, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So I will give you that. So on that note, maybe because I don't really have time to go back and watch One Piece all the way through and have it fresh in my head before watching it, I will and maybe I'll enjoy it that way better because it's just reading the book and then watching the movie. A lot of Harry Potter fans that right when the first Harry Potter movies came out, there were not a ton, but there were a lot enough that were what's this? The book is always better. Right? But right. I am definitely like ripped on this nut butter right now. Wow. Bobby, amazing. Like my hat's off to you for like the fact. I mean, I had it in my volts, like so, like it had very minimal changes over the course of that year. It did prime condition for curing, and I hardly opened it at all that whole time. So like no oxygen exchanging, no fluctuations, all that other stuff. Basically, like I've kept it in a state that is probably a much earlier cure for most people. But man, this slaps. Yeah, nut butter. This is a Seeds of Kismet's nut butter, specifically grown by Bobby Barrier, the Virginia Ganjier. And I am Alchemist Ganjier. Signing off to the Cannacult. Yeah, I love you guys for sticking it out with me. Those are still here. Like make sure that you are like taking care of yourself, checking in with yourself. Not everyone has like time to do it, but like 5 to 10 minutes with literally nothing else going on, everything off, like in silence. Like I mean, not like where you're just kind of sitting there and just like being with yourself. It can be difficult at first, but it's the benefit that it provides is absolutely like amazing. The inner reflection that it can give you, because when you keep doing it, like yeah, it'll help you love yourself. Yeah, I love you. I hope you guys have a great night. And yeah, peace.